ASMR. Here is ASMR. I hope you guys are liking the videos. It has been about a week since I've uploaded, maybe a little more. I just tried recording, got pretty far into this video, and then had a sudden cough attack, sadly. But, so I kinda know, but let's just get right into this. I hope you are all having a great night, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world, Mr. Worldwide. And yeah, so this video is just gonna be a little whisper story time, but not the story time you think, like, no, chill. This is Mr. Professor Whiskers and the Brilliant Butterfly. Let me repeat that. Professor Whiskers and the Brilliant Butterfly. So, with all that being said, let's get right into this video. And yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. This should be a rather short video. I might, depending on how long we're at, do another story. But yeah, or if you guys like these kind of videos, these story just kind of strictly whispering videos, let me know and I can record more. But this is gonna be kind of a live reaction at the end, because I got like halfway through and then just coughed right into the mic. It was really bad. So yeah, let's log in. Okay. In a little lab beneath the roots of an old apple tree lived a clever scientist mouse named Professor Whiskers. He wore tiny round glasses, had soft gray fur, and was always inventing something marvelous. Even the smartest mice need help, and Professor Whiskers had the perfect assistant, a bright blue butterfly named Bella. So far we got this little mouse, Professor Whiskers, and his bright blue butterfly named Bella. And let's see what they get into, what goes on. So Bella wasn't just beautiful, she was brave, curious, and even carried a tiny notebook made from flower petals. Ooh, flower petals. I'm gonna do some hand movements to make this more interesting. Very cool. I don't know. I don't think this butterfly has a gender, but Bella seems like a cool butterfly. One bright morning, Professor Whiskers danced around his lab. Oh, today's the day, Bella, he squeaked. We're going to finish my most important invention, the weather whistle. I'm not gonna whistle, that's loud. Well, what happens next, you may wonder. Bella flutters her wings. What does it do? Okay, so, Bella's a girl, and Professor Whiskers is a boy. Oh my, I'm getting cat hairs. I think this is how I coughed last time. Because I won't explain it right now. Okay. It makes sunny days when it's rainy, and gentle clouds when it's hot, said the professor. gardens, parties, and picnic days. Anything you want. Like, if it rains on your wedding, not with the weather whistle. Get rid of that. They got to work. Professor Whiskers turned gears and spun wires. Bella flew around, gathering dew for cooling and dandelion fluff for softness. Suddenly, boom, a puff of purple smoke burst from the machine. Oops, said Whiskers. His whiskers now extra frizzy. Extra frizzy. Bella giggled. Don't worry, Professor. Let's check these notes. Gotta lock in, so they're clearly not very close to getting this weather whistle. Bro, I keep whistling in this weather whistle. In order, in working condition. Okay. So, they worked together, carefully fixing the weather whistle. Bella suggested adding a drop of morning sunshine, which she stored in a golden thimble. A golden thimble. And Professor Whiskers adjusted the tuning fork to sound like a happy bird. Finally, the machine let out a ding. Ready, Bella cheered. Alright, chat, bro. This is not what? I don't think you can just put some morning sunshine that you have stored in a golden thimble and adjust the tuning fork to sound like a happy bird, and then the machine will let out a ding, and then Bella, not even freaking like, why is Professor Whiskers there if Bella just knows it's working and it's ready? Okay, let's just finish this. Finish the story. Professor Whiskers took a deep breath, then blew gently into the whistle. A soft hum filled the air, and above the tree, the clouds began to part. Sunbeams danced down onto the garden. It works, they shouted together. From that day on, animals from all around the forest came to the weather whistle station. Whether they needed rain for their flowers or a sunny day for play, Professor Whiskers and Bella the butterfly were always ready to help. Because when science and teamwork come together, magic can really happen. The end. That was a very cute story, very sweet story. I think there has a little bit of some plot holes, a little flaw here and there, but it was pretty good. I'm gonna cough real quick and get a sip of water because I feel air in my mouth or something, or soda. Okay. Let's read this next this next story. Oh my gosh. And then call it, probably, because I'm getting pretty tired. So I think I'm gonna try to get some sleep or practice some music a little bit and then get to sleep. But yeah, this last story is gonna be the boy who could catch clouds. I wish I had my setup more centered, but I have my keyboard right in front of me, so it's gonna, just for this video, you can look at my El Gato painting. That's what it says underneath, if you're wondering. Okay, let's get right into this. Eli had a very strange swirled around inside the glass, glowing faintly gold. Eli stared at it, and it stared back. Then a tiny voice from inside the jar. Finally, I've been waiting for 3 years for someone to notice me. The cloud's name was Nimbus. He explained very seriously, a lost cloud. There are hundreds of us, Nimbus said, clouds that drifted too far from the Sky River and couldn't find their way back. Eli pressed his nose against the glass. The Sky River. The great current of wind that carries all clouds home, said Nimbus. Without it, we just wander forever. Eli felt a pang in his chest. He knew exactly what it felt like to be lost. Last year, he had gotten separated from his dad at the county fair for 20 whole minutes. 20 minutes felt like a lifetime. He couldn't imagine 3 years. I'll take you home, Eli said. Nimbus laughed. It sounded like a soft rumble of faraway thunder. You're 7 years old. 7.5, said Eli, and I have a bicycle. That night, under a sky full of wandering lost clouds, Eli packed his backpack. 1 peanut butter sandwich, 1 flashlight, 1 jar with Nimbus inside. Nimbus guided him through town, past the old mill, past the sleeping duck pond, and up to the top of Hollow Hill, the highest point for 20 miles. Eli climbed off his bike and looked up. The sky above the hill swirled differently up there. He could see it now, a long silver river of wind shimmering just above the tree line like a ribbon of moonlight. Sky River. That's it, Nimbus whispered, voice full of wonder. I can feel it from here. But there was a problem. A problem. The Sky River was too high. Even at the very top of Hollow Hill, it was still 50 feet above Eli's head. He looked around. There were no ladders, no tall trees, no magic trampolines. Just Eli, his jar, and the dark, quiet night. He sat down in the grass and thought very hard. Then he looked at his jar, and then he looked at the sky full of other lost clouds drifting slowly overhead. An idea lit up in his brain like a light bulb. Nimbus, can clouds lift things? Well, yes, but only if enough of us work together. Eli grinned. He unscrewed the jar lid. Nimbus floated out, stretched with a happy sigh, and puffed up big and bright in the night air. Then Eli did something nobody had ever thought to do. He called out to the other clouds. Hey, 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 hey. He shouted into the sky. I found the silver. I found the sky river. Follow me. One cloud drifted closer, then another, then 12 more. Soon, 50 clouds were swirling around Hollow Hill, all of them glowing, all of them buzzing with hope. Together they wrapped softly around Eli like a giant fluffy blanket. And slowly, very gently lifted him up, up, up. Eli laughed out loud, arms stretched wide, rising into the dark sky above the hill until the sky river was right there, swirling in silver and warm, just inches from his fingertips. One by one, the lost clouds let go of Eli and slipped into the current. Nimbus was last. He hovered in front of Eli's face for a long moment. Thank you, Eli. Will I ever see you again? Eli asked. Nimbus smiled. The shape of a rabbit again, just for a second. Look up on rainy days. I'll always wave. And just like that, Nimbus was gone, carried home on the silver river of wind. The clouds set Eli down gently at the bottom of Hollow Hill, right next to his bicycle. He rode home slowly under the brightest, most crowded sky he had ever seen. Every cloud was back in its place, every single one. Eli put the empty jar back on his nightstand. He looked at it for a long time. It still smelled like rain and sky, and something magical he now knew the name of. Home. 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 The moral of this story is that sometimes the biggest adventures begin with simply paying attention to the sky and the courage to say, "All help." The end. That was so sweet. What the heck? Oh my god. Okay, I wish that first video, who the heck is freaking Mr. Professor Whiskers, bro? That was ass, bro. Okay, I might do another part 2 to this because I really liked reading that story. That was kind of fun. Kind of peaceful before bed, but Professor Whiskers, I'm gonna have to rate a solid 6 out of 10. And The Boy Who Could Catch Clouds. That was a very, very sweet bedtime story. I would give it like an 8.5 or maybe even a 9 out of 10. But I need to expand my palette or have more stories to compare it to. Anyway, I hope you guys liked that little just random idea. I was like, let me just read some kids' best bedtime stories. And I was trying to find Goodnight Moon, but I couldn't find a free version of it, so I just found this bedtime stories for kids website. Yeah, it's very cool. I has little pictures, but they're not very, like this one for example had no pictures except for like the title picture. They're all definitely AI. But yeah. Fire website. Fire last story. I hope you guys thought so too. I hope you guys have a great night, a great morning, or a great afternoon, or if you're just watching this in the background while you do something. I hope you enjoy